Hi guys, the German ambassador to the United Kingdom, Miguel Berger, appeared on the Sophie Reid show on Sunday, where she asked him about a whole range of things. One of them was about Scotland and if the country voted for independence and therefore wished to join or rejoin the EU, as the case may be, depending on your point of view, would it have to adopt the euro? Now, while the ambassador's response to this was quite simple, the real answer, like most EU procedures, is a bit more complicated. Have a listen to what he had to say.
Scotland was to vote for independence. Would they have to adopt the euro to join the EU?
You know, I don't really want to get into an internal question, but let me put it like that. Every country that is joining the European Union, and we are currently negotiating with some countries in the Western Balkans, know that they have to introduce the euro.
Okay, so on the surface there, every country that joins the EU needs to adopt the euro. And as I said, it's a bit more complicated than that. If we go to the EU website, it says here about joining the euro area. Currently, the euro area, also referred to as the Eurozone, comprises 19 EU member states, and it lists them off here. Now, there are also opt-out clauses. All EU member states are in principle obliged to introduce the euro once they fulfill the convergence criteria. The only exception is Denmark, which has an opt-out clause in EU treaties exempting the country from the obligation to adopt the euro. Now, what's important is the convergence criteria. And it says here how an EU country joins the euro area. To be able to introduce the euro, EU member states are required to fulfill the convergence criteria. These are economic and legal conditions agreed in the Maastricht Treaty in 1992 and are also known as the Maastricht criteria. The final decision of an EU country joining the euro is taken by the Council of Europe. The decision is based on the proposal by the European Commission and is taken after the European Parliament has consulted with the European Council and has discussed the proposal. So, what's important about this is that the convergence criteria goes along with EU membership. So if you want to become a member of the EU, you are obliged in principle, it says, to adopt the euro. But for example, there are countries that are a member of the EU, but they're not using the euro. For example, Poland, Denmark, as we saw here, and Sweden. Now, it's possible for a country to become an EU member, but not introduce the euro, but promise to do so. So if they are saying, look, we're working on our convergence criteria, and they submit a request to join the euro to the European Commission and the Council of Europe, but if it's rejected, well, they don't join the euro. So if they don't meet the convergence criteria, and they believe themselves they have not met that criteria, then they will not join the euro. And I don't want to put the words in Poland's mouth or Sweden's mouth, and probably what they're doing is they haven't met the criteria, but they are members of the EU. But they're expecting or expected to meet the criteria later on. And Scotland could do the same thing. It could become a member and work towards the criteria, but never meet it. Or internally decide not to meet it. This is what Scotland could do. So Scotland, yes, can become a member of the EU and never adopt the euro by never meeting the criteria, but work towards meeting that criteria. So at the end, the answer is yes, Scotland could become a member of the EU and not have the euro in practice. But in theory, it should be working towards that criteria. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.